defend the title track then, please.
Dude, that is so magical and so whimsical.
I was expecting the word magical.
The way he talks about being born horses is so magical. I'm like, yes. If reincarnation is a thing, I want to be born a horse. You sold me.
Welcome to Every Album Ever with Mike Knox, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. That's usually a new discography per episode, except for these. Well, actually, this is the loose ends, baby. That means something we already covered the full discography, and then they kept putting out albums. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined, as always, by my plaid-clad co-host Alexander Volt. Say hello.
Hello.
And today, we are discussing the latest album by
Mercury Rev, entitled Born Horses.
We covered Mercury Rev's full discography. Was it episode 138? So go check that out. That was a good while ago.
A lifetime ago.
It was a life. If I'm not mistaken, I could be misremembering, but I believe that was the first episode we did in what I nicknamed the Lizard Cove, which was my old garage where we spent.
I didn't even know you called it that until right now.
I don't even think I ever told you that. I just said it to myself.
Just yourself. You're like,
Yeah.
This is the Lizard Cove.
My brother told me he had a lizard problem that lizards would always like get in there, and he had a hard time getting rid of them, so that's why I called it that. But I think that was like the place that we recorded the longest out of the whole podcast. We spent the most time. We did the most episodes in there, and Mercury Rev, I think, was the first episode, the first band we did back then. And yeah, we should have known they weren't going to stop putting out albums, and I feel bad because, man, I'm pretty sure that Jonathan Donahue is like the nicest guy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, really hate the direction he's taken the band in the past decade or so.
I didn't even remember how I felt, and I had to like watch the episode a little bit. It's long, so I just kind of skipped around a little bit. And the one we last met them, they did a cover album with female singers on the album. I liked it. You hated it. Yep. There was a leading up into that, a wave of experimental, almost white noise albums. There were some good times in between.
There were some good times. Yeah, there were some good. Mercury had a lot of good albums.
This almost flew under the radar. I forget what Maniac put this on their year-end list, and I was like, "Shit, Mike." Mercury Rev came out with a new album, and I couldn't remember how I felt. And I listened to the album before the episode, and you know what? I think it's really good. I really like it.
I am fucking speechless.
I think
this album stinks. Holy crap.
Like it.
I am beside myself. I am beside myself, Alex. Okay. Let's just do a little refresher. Okay. Holy shit. So for the episode, am I misremembering? You gave All Is Dream best.
Yes.
Okay. I gave See You on the Other Side, but I also gave See You on the Other Side as like one of the most underrated albums that we've ever covered on the show. I like Mercury Rev a lot. I think, was it Snowflake Midnight is very good. I think The Secret Migration is very good. And even though Deserter Song is like the famous one, I don't think it's one of their best, but I think it's a good album. The Light in You, which was not counting the covers album, the Delta Suite Revisited thing. Mm-hmm. That's like I guess it's like their last album of original music. I thought that was so abysmal, so offensively bad. I think Born Horses is definitely better than that, but there was a lot that I was really okay. No, let's start with good. Why do you like it?
I didn't know what I was getting into because I don't want to say they're all over the place. They, in a way, and this sounds mean, but they are kind of like the Flaming Lips, like less successful younger brother. So I didn't know what to expect. They didn't leave a huge impression on me. I haven't revisited their music since we listened to that. So I went in blind, and it got me. It fucking got me good.
Okay. So I guess let's try to explain. I mean, I'm fucking speechless.
Are we going to intro this, or are we just going? Okay.
Loose ends. So
okay.
The album, it does basically one thing throughout the whole thing.
It does it really good.
I think it does it really, really, really good on one song, and then it just shits the bed on almost the rest, pretty much.
Oh,
I think the opening track, "Mood Swings," is one of the best songs they've done in years.
I think it's great. The like coffee shop jazz thing was working for me. I didn't know if it was just an intro. Is the album going to sound like this? Then you get these trippy effects on the spoken word lyrics, and then this kind of builds, and like by the time you have the drums, it rules. It rules.
It's very lengthy. It's about in the 7-minute range. It's very it's got a noir kind of jazz feel to it. The horns have a nice Spanish flair to them. It's a very nice touch. They're done, and the upright bass tone, which is, I should say tone, the upright bass texture, it's pretty much on the whole album, and it sounds good. It sounds really good. It fits the mood really, really, really nicely. It's dark. The spoken word vocals, I thought like, okay, they're spacey and they're kind of psychedelic. They're mixed a little bit loud, but whatever. It's a choice. I'll take it as part of the package. Hell yeah. And then Ancient Love comes on, and it's like, oh, they took every single thing, every single idea from the first song, and they did it again with a less good song. Every idea is okay, we're going to do all that. We're going to do it again. And then they do it again, and then do it again, and they do it again for the whole album.
Yeah. And it rules.
It's so cringy on certain, like, I will give it up for Your Hammer My Heart, which I do think is quite nice. I enjoy that one.
I will say there are cheesy lyrics on particularly Patterns.
Yes, there are cheesy ass lyrics on Patterns.
But thankfully, it's one of the shorter songs.
There's also cheesy ass lyrics on the title track where he says we're born horses like 1,000 times, and he just okay. No vocals, buddy. Yeah, we gotta talk about the vocals.
I don't know if I want to talk about horses or vocals. You know what? You got vocals on the mind. Let's circle back to horses.
Okay. So vocals. Jonathan Donahue can't even speak. He has done a lot of stuff. He used to be the very high voice guy, the falsetto man, and now he's doing this spoken word thing, very close to the mic, where it's kind of sing-songy, but still spoken word. It fucking gets on my nerves. I mean, it gets on my nerves pretty hard. I thought it was like, oh, it's a neat idea for one song, and it was supposed to be the whole fucking album. He's doing the same thing.
I will say it's not my favorite thing, but everything else is my favorite thing. So it just kind of like negates it.
Holy crap. Okay. It's so dramatic. I mean, really? It's so dramatic. I mean, the fucking everything I thought I had lost. I mean, it's so dramatic.
My elevator pitch for the way this album sounds: psychedelic noir jazz.
I wish the first track, yes, it is that. The rest of it goes way new agey and fucking like just over the top emotional. And
you don't like everything I thought I had lost.
I do not.
That is, I'm making a playlist of my favorite songs from 2024. Given it's a long playlist. It's the only qualification is I have to like the song.
Okay. It's
in the list. It's on the list. It's in the playlist.
Holy shit.
I think everything I had lost goes so hard. Like
yes, it does.
Yeah. It's almost like prog rock in a way.
How?
Like for how jammy it gets.
Oh, I guess so. And it does have that break, that psychedelic break toward the middle. I felt it to be very meandery.
Oh man, I was engaged like start to finish this whole album.
Holy shit, dude. Okay.
When I wish I could remember where it was, where someone put this on their year-end list. I was like, well, that Mercury Rev it's probably like their band. Like it's probably not a great album, but it's like their band, so they have to give it up. And like, it wouldn't have made my list. It wouldn't have even made my honorable mentions, but I totally get people putting it on their list.
Oh shit.
Although to be fair, it was the one list I saw.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Where this showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I get it so much.
I do not get it. As a guy who thoroughly enjoyed this band, okay, defend the title track then, please.
Dude, that is so magical and so whimsical.
I was expecting the fucking word magical.
It's so magical.
I suppose it is.
The way he's like turning into an animal is one of my biggest, most illogical fears that's never going to happen.
What the fuck, really?
Due to like Goosebump novels, and I feel like I always say this wrong, but the Island of Dr. Moreau. Yeah. Moreau. Like those things, it's just like there's a body horror aspect. It's not a real thing that can happen, but it terrifies me to the depths of my soul. Like the movie Tusk is one of the most horrifying things ever.
It's upsetting. It's pretty upsetting.
Speaking about humans turning into horses, spoiler alert. I guess I'm spoiling it by saying that the movie, I'm Sorry to Bother You, the like plot twist is that this corporation wants to turn their workers into literal workhorses, and that like terrifies me. It's a weird, awesome, excellent movie by Boots Riley from The Coup. But the way he talks about being born horses is so magical. I'm like, yes. I want that for you. I may want it for myself. If reincarnation is a thing, I want to be born a horse. You sold me.
So he took a thing that you have a deep-rooted fear of and made it
for no reason.
Beautiful.
For no reason.
I know you probably saw a movie when you were young and it fucked you up.
Yeah.
That's what but
I think it was the Goosebump novels.
Really? Oh, wow.
There's a story where a kid turns into a dog at the end, and for some reason that sounds
nasty.
Stayed with me.
Holy crap. God damn that R.L. Stein. All right. So you know what? I don't like the song, but you put up a fair fight for it. Honestly, here's the thing. If you could defend that song and feel it strongly about it, you can defend basically every song on this album because they're all like that.
I can. Yeah. The only one I don't like is Pattern. Like that is the one where the lyrics and like I totally agree about the sentiments of it being cheesy and the vocals being like a bit too much. But what the musicians are playing, I like love irrationally so much. It's like on top of like psychedelic noir jazz, it's a very celestial album. It's very dreamy. It just fucking works for me. It maybe shouldn't, but that's the beautiful thing about this. I've never lied to my listener.
Now I'm trying to narrow down the beam that is Alex's taste in psychedelia, because
you can't.
That's the thing. Because always when I think like, okay, it's psychedelic, he's going to like it. And then you hated King Cruel, which is like, wait, what the fuck? It doesn't get more dreamy and psychedelic than that. And this, I'm like, this this is melodramatic horseshit. Obviously, he's not going to like this. He loves it. He loves it.
I can barely make sense of it myself. I like what I like.
So you said you use the word celestial. That is the word I would use. Also, I didn't think of it until you said it.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a celestial sounding psychedelic album.
Yes.
It is. There are twinkly moments, but the only one that I think of where they go super hard with the twinkly sounds is on "Your Hammer My Heart," which I do like the song. That's like because you said you use also jazz to describe the album. I would only use jazz to describe mood swings.
The first,
and then "Your Hammer My Heart," because it also has like a loungy, jazzy quality to it that I like, and the saxes that they have on there are very sensual. It's nice. The other songs, they have like this really prominent, really, really melodramatic piano that kind of leads things, which it ended up just being pretty overbearing for me. Patterns, you admitted you didn't like Patterns that much, but some of the synth choices on Patterns are questionable. I would call them questionable.
For me, the synth, well, there's two synth songs, but A Bird of No Address, that one takes a little bit to get going, but yeah, once the synths kick in on that one, again, I'm just sold on it. I
hate that song, but I do get the drums in the final chunk.
Mm-hmm.
Where out of all the songs, it probably has the most power. At least in that final chunk.
I think Everything I Thought I Lost is like the most powerful.
Really? You think that's like the it sounds like, do you think it's the culmination of the whole album?
Oh yeah. I think the world of that song.
Holy crap. I want to hear it again now just to understand what the fuck you're talking about.
Like through my ears.
Yeah, because I was not having a good time. I was having an even worse time on second listen.
I had an excellent time. I didn't even know what I was getting into, and I was like, "Oh my god, this rules!"
So okay, so the only other wildly different song. We skipped over "Ancient Love" quite a bit, actually.
Yes.
So the only thing jazzy about it, I think, is like the bossa nova drum beat. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's just really minor key. I mean, it's like the first taste of like how dark and dramatic and sad this album gets.
Yeah, I think mood swings aren't a light subject, but there's something about like the phrase, like
phrasing of it, yeah,
like ancient love, where again it invokes this celestial thing, this like love that transcends time. Also, I love that I loved Interstellar, day one Interstellar fan, and they like re-released it in theaters, and there's so many people admitting they were wrong.
Yes, that's fucking right. Yes, you were. How do you watch that thing and not bawl your fucking eyes out, man?
It is the most emotional movie, and I like he's saying in a less cheesy way that love transcends time. What a beautiful sentiment from a like director who's like very cold and calculated. But anyways, I just feel good that I was right about Interstellar and the world has course corrected.
Dude, the fact that, because I only saw that movie a couple of years ago because you lent me the Blu-ray and you're like, watch it, because I never watch newer movies because I never get around to it.
I think we were talking about the score with the organs. Yeah.
And so I sat and watched it and bawled. I cried at least 3 different times.
Hell yeah.
I was like, this movie is it's Chris Nolan's best fucking movie, and no question.
I agree. I agree.
And then learned after that everyone was like talking shit on it. What are you made of stone, man? How do you?
The way they talk about Interstellar is actually, and I will give you this, is actually what this album is, particularly Ancient Love. And so that's why I bring it up. It feels big, and this thing that like transcends time. And to me, I think mood swings, like it's like, okay, this is what the album is. And then the star of the show on Ancient Love for me is the outside of the lyrics, which I guess I do appreciate because they work for me there, and I see how cheesy they could get on Patterns. But like, I think the piano on Ancient Love is great.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I wasn't worn down by the piano that early in the album for sure. It started to hit me quite a bit toward the end. The only song that really, really changes it up is the closer, I think. There's Always Been a Bird in Me. A lot of bird references too. And it's like full on new wavy goth.
Yes, it's the most 80s sounding song. And between the horses and birds, I want to take the singer aside and be like, my man, there's a mythical creature called the Pegasus. I think that's what you want to be.
I think that is, you know what? You're right. Or a hippogriff if you read Harry Potter.
We can make we could have done a concept album about Pegasuses. We just take the bird. Although there's a lot of, bird and horse metaphors where maybe like like a Pegasus being in your heart that sings doesn't sound as good as having. I think it's cooler personally but that's just me.
Personally, I prefer a Maximilian Pegasus in my heart, but that's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference for all you fucking hardcore nerds. I know you're fucking watching.
I'm only familiar with a Blue Eyes White Dragon, as we all should be.
As we all should be. But yeah, that track, it's got like, so it's still very minor key. It's still very edgy and sad, but it's got that driving ass Cure beat and bass line. And it has like these acoustic guitars, very gothy, these really dreary pianos, very gothy. I don't mind the song that much. It just didn't charm me at all. It felt cold and like, oh, let's just make this one a little bit more dancey than the others. But it still felt like all the other songs in the album, just with a driving beat behind it.
I think when something spacey, it always feels cold to me. So I do like but not in a detriment the way you're using it.
Oh man, I am so I'm pleased that you enjoyed it, but I am so surprised.
What a great loose ends episode. I didn't even I was just enjoying myself so much. I wasn't thinking about recording the podcast. I wasn't, because sometimes I listen to things and I think, oh, what would Mike think, or how's Mike gonna? I was just enjoying myself. So I was in the zone.
So wait, when did you? Was this the first time you heard it, or did you hear it during
this week? Is the first time I've listened to it.
Okay. So, man, that is fucking hilarious. Jesus Christ. I will give it up for, I do think Mood Swings is one of the more memorable songs that they've done in a long time. And the thing is, that's probably why I enjoyed the album less, is because I enjoyed that song so much that I wanted more of that. And it just took everything to Bummersville.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. But I guess check out the fucking album if you want. Check out the full episode of Mercury Rev.
Most definitely check out this album.
Check out the album. Give it a shot. There's something here.
I hope there's more people who are like, you know what? That would have made my year endless if I had known.
Yeah. I would have been fucked so upset. I think I would have been very upset just because like how promising. Whatever.
No, this is a great a second episode of 2020. This is my favorite episode of the year.
Let's hope it doesn't stay this your favorite episode of the year.
What if it is?
Oh shit. Well, 2024 was hard to top. To be fair. But yeah, check out a full episode on Mercury Rev from forever ago. Yeah, that's a fun band. I've gone back to them since that episode. I really, really like a few of those albums, and I do think
they left more of an impression on you than me.
Yeah, they sure
and
did.
I'm the one going to bat for this album.
I hate it. I fucking hate the goddamn album. I haven't liked anything of theirs in a long time.
I haven't bought an album you've hated in a while. I might just buy it just to spite you.
You're gonna set up a thing behind you like me, and it's gonna be just fucking all those albums. Mercury Rev.
I'm just gonna buy 7 different copies of Born Horses.
That is such a waste of money. You should not do that.
No, I wouldn't do that. No, I'm fucking around there. I was just thinking it'd be funny if there
That would be very funny.
Yeah.
If you had 7 different copies of different albums that I hate behind you.
I could do that. I could get ELO's Time. I could get some Steely Dan.
You can get really any Steely Dan album.
Yeah, it's mostly going to be Steely Dan.
Fuck. But thank you so much for listening and watching and hanging out. Go check out the old episode on Mercury Rev. Go check out this new album. And don't tell any member, Grasshopper or Jonathan Donahue, that we did this, because they seem like nice guys and I don't want them to be sad. Or show them Alex. Yeah, edit out my stuff. Don't
show them the actual episode, but like you can let them know I loved this album.
There we go. I didn't say shit. If you want to support us, you know what to do. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to hang out longer than this. And if you want to tell us why we're morons, you can go ahead and leave a comment saying that as well. You can follow me on all social media at PanderMonkey and Alex on Instagram at
Every Album Alex.
And be sure to follow our history guy Tom Osman at Tom Osman Sounds on all social media, as well as TomOsmanSounds.com for all his music and his podcast, whatever comes next. Where he interviews a bunch of underground artists and indie musicians, and there's links to that in the description. My EP, link to that in the description as well. And Patreon, patreon.com/everyalbumever. That's where you go. You get bonus episodes, 2 bonus episodes a month. You get to see our schedules in advance. You get to vote on polls to decide who we cover next. You get to join the Discord, be a part of the community, hang out with the boys and girls. And you can also suggest brand new albums, EA singles episodes, and we'll pick them out of the Discord. And if you're tier 2, then you can suggest a full discography for a bigger, longer numbered episodes, as well as any number of bonus episodes for Patreon. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff to do. It's very fun. Go do that. Closing it out. I already know which one you want, baby.
Well, there's 2 songs.
Well, for you, there's more than 2, but I feel like you want to be Everything I Thought I'd Lost.
I do want that, but also, like, if you want to go Mood Swings, I'm not going to be upset at that either.
I'm not going to put up any fight with Mood Swings, baby. All right. Let's do Mood Swings.
It is. Yeah.
Let's do Mood Swings. Hell yes. So thank you so much for listening and watching. See ya.